So, I have not yet heard from Danny today, so I can't say if anything's been figured out since last week. Saturday, I woke up just not feeling good. And then Brett bothered to tell me that it had been sick since Friday. I was like, really? And he's like, well, that's why I kissed you on the cheek. I'm going, you are aware that you're contagious for at least a few days before you start showing symptoms, and then even then, us being that close to each other, if you haven't told me, go figure. So that's what happened. Either that or it's just the temperature changes. I'm not sure which, because it's really, really, really I could try the one up right here, but last time I tried it let out more air than it let in. Brett, when he did it, he said it was hissing the whole way, but it was filling up too. And so that tells me they didn't fix it. T-man, which requires that the tire hits the right way and the works, and since there's no way to be sure of that, it's just easier to go to the next best spot. That's where we're at there. And it's also why I'll be hurrying through. Where I would usually I just passed an interesting tow truck, well, the tow truck was fine, but the car on it around the back, not necessarily the back window, but the back was wrapped white. And then, but you could see in all the windows, so don't ask me what that was. was only one car in the tow truck, and the tow truck was off to the side of the road. So you can't, and he was picking up a few things. The driver was out picking up a few things around the vehicle. Slow stoplight there. I must have got here right about as it turned red. A little bit harder to tell if I did or not because the vehicle right in front of me is a semi, so anyone who's ever experienced, driven very long at all knows that semis can block your view of the lights. So, and sorry I'm eating while I'm streaming. I need to make sure I get something in me, because I haven't eaten other than what I've been eating while we've been streaming, so. With white clouds off and on, but it's sprinkling snow. And the roads are wet, so I'm assuming I came out right after, or as it about pretty much slowed down and almost stopped. I will say my experience has been every year everyone freaks out at the end of December that we don't have enough snow pack and we're not going to get very much more. And then February, March is when we get the biggest snow. We get our January thaw that does the little bit that comes, the couple of snowstorms that hit from September to December, and then we start getting a bit more regular snowfall. As in, it'll melt some, And when it's almost gone, it'll snow again. And it'll melt some, and when it's almost gone, it'll snow again. So I am suspecting we're going to keep getting snow for at least another month. We'll see. Honestly, sometimes we get snow into May or June. And it may sound bad, but it's the times when it's late May, early June, and we get a snow that I kind of like the most. Now, I admit those times, the summer is pretty rainy, and it stays cool. And it's not the rain I don't like as much, or it's not the cool I don't like as much, it's the rain. But at the same time, we seem to have a rainy season every year. After the thaw, or after the snow falls. And it lasts for a month or two. So if the last snowfall is in March, then by May, the rain slows down. And then we get almost no rain. You know, we'll get like 1 or 2 rain showers a month. For, if that, for June, July, and August. A bit more in May to June, if the last snow falls in March. But if the last snowfall is in June, then you have a bit more in July rain. And then August, you get 1 or 2. And by September, it's already cooling down. So it never really heats up to really, really hot. So, another thing, and I'm gonna, once I get out and fill the tire, or while I'm filling the tire, see who's on. Because I have a question on what is normal for conferences. Because the amount that they're charging for the EDS conference seems really high to me. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to go or not. I would have thought it would be cheaper than that. So let's see. Hi, staff. You must have literally, it looks like, just got on. So I'm just curious, conference-wise, the conference is the 9th, 10th, and 11th of July. And I believe it's in Phoenix. But what's catching me is it's $350 per person or per adult. And that to me seems pretty high. What do you think? This is weird. I may have to take this tire back in. Okay, so it's not just me. Even the one-day event, they want $150 for one day. And it just seemed like every conference I'd heard of, okay, I could see 150, 200. But $350 for a 3-day event? So I may have to, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go or not, because if I go, my daughter obviously wants to go with me, because she loves traveling and everything, and I'd feel bad leaving her behind. So it would be $700 for the two of us just for the event, and that doesn't include like room and board or anything. Like it does, I think it has certain lunches. Okay, that works. I think it has certain lunches and some snacks, but that's it. And so when you then figure in money to get there, whether it's to fly or to drive, plus money for somewhere to stay, and whatever else, I mean, to be honest, if it were for professionals, just professionals, you know, if it were just the doctors, I kind of can see that amount, maybe, but that would be on the high side of a conference for them. High, you know, high price for them. But that's the amount for regular people. Not even the amount for for the doctors. I don't remember looking at what the amount for the doctors was, for medical professionals. But I was just shocked when I saw that amount. Because I was thinking maybe we could do the trip for about $1,000 with my daughters. It would be pushing it, is what I was thinking, but okay, we can do that. But to see that it's as high as it is, actually, wrong thing. First this. Hey, that's up to you. If you do, I might be able to, if you choose that's what you want to do, I might have other ideas for you. Now let's see what I have gifts-wise, because I know I needed at least that one fight. Hey, honestly, I think Logan's a great area to grow up and raise your kids. And I could give you ideas on where and whatever else. I know someone from Washington that's actually looking at coming here too. So, and as you saw, you're the one who shared with me that Logan's in the top 10 small cities. And here's one thing. So it's a college town. So it's not too small. But it's a university, I should say, town. But it's got a small town feel. And that's one thing a lot of places can't. It's usually either one or the other, but not both. Salt Lake is, depending on who you ask, an hour or 2 hours away. The hunting isn't as good, like big game hunting, if they're interested in that. But small game, if they're interested in that, I obviously have a really good lead on where they can get a hunting partner and ducks and geese. So, and if they like fishing, same lead. As for rivers, some say we have rivers, some don't. I mean, there are rivers that run through, but usually it's more up in the canyons and stuff. You can really experience the rivers, but we do have a number of water spots that you can visit. If they like fishing, Brett's way into that too. If they like shooting, honestly, from what I've understood from people, small game hunting is a lot different than big game. If they're okay with being patient, and if they like fishing, they are more likely to understand the waiting game and stuff and bringing them in. So to be okay with that part. And so my kids say that there seems to be a difference between small game and big game hunting. At least that's what I have picked up from people and whatever, is there's a difference between the two. And so they might enjoy going after ducks or geese. If they had someone who knew what they were doing going with them. And, well, Brett could probably work it out that they could go with him when he goes out with Braden and them. So, but fishing, yeah, Brett knows the spots and stuff like that. So, and so we could do this. We could send them out fishing, and then you and I could go maybe meet with Jen, and I'll go play Wizards Unite while they're busy fishing and stuff. Okay, let's see. All I got was sponsored. So that's all I had too. That's what I was saying. The only difference is I know where a sponsored gym is that I can get to, and so I fought in a sponsored to make it a little bit better. Just send me a regular runestone. Well, yes, I love the red books. I totally get. If you have one. If you don't worry about it. So Brett finished off my one event for me yesterday, off the regular event. I still need to get 10 port keys to pop. So I think I'm going to have to use silver keys again. I totally get that. He went out because he really wanted to go after something in Pokemon Go, and so he said, should I take your phone with me? And I'm like, go ahead if you want. So he did, and realized he had finished the event, so he was like, oh, and then he accidentally clicked on it. So actually, before I go, we might as well start these. That'll give me 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. That'll give me 5, and then I'll just need to get the other 5. I still kind of really would like to go down. That's where I'm conflicted. So I may be trying to see if they have any scholarships or things like that. I kind of doubt it. But I know some places, if you volunteer, they'll either let you in free or reduce the price. So, a few things like that I need to look into. I will say, if you come to Utah, legally, I know in some places you can jump from if there's only one turn lane, you can jump to the outside lane. Here in Utah, you're supposed to go directly into the lane corresponding with the lane you're in. So if there's only one turn lane, you're supposed to go into the inside lane. But supposed to, and what people actually do, is also a whole nother ball game. So, and then another thing I've heard of people not being aware of here in Utah, difference in driving laws between here and other places. And you may know these because you lived in Idaho, but just reminding you or letting other people know, because it can get people mad at you and then get you wondering why people are driving bad. But here in Utah, you're allowed to, or it's expected, you're allowed to pull halfway into, when the light turns green, if you're on a left turn, you're allowed to pull into the intersection. Usually you shoot for just short of halfway on a green light, so that depending on the size of the intersection, the person behind you might also be able to wait in the intersection. And technically 2 cars are allowed to turn left on red if they were already in the intersection when the light turned red. So that's something that shocks a lot of people. And that are here visiting or things like that, and I wouldn't have even been aware of it. That in other places you have to stop behind the line and stay there until you can completely go through the intersection. Except I had an English teacher that actually, he was talking about the way you perceive things and stuff like that. And then he switched to another subject, or somehow it got on the subject of Utahns are bad drivers. And he said, yeah, I mean, really, you pull out into the intersection and sit there when you're not supposed to on a left-hand turn. And someone said, that's legal according to Utah law. And he went, what? And they told him what the law was, and he's like, oops. Okay, well, I guess I better change. I guess that changes my perception that it actually isn't. They're breaking the law. They are following the law the way it was written in their state. So they're not. And so, yeah. I will say another thing that's interesting is that a lot of people feel they can go a minimum of 5 over the speed limit with no issues. Between 5 and 10 over the speed limit is what a lot of people drive. My experience, you can drive the speed limit. Sometimes you get people honking at you for going the speed limit, and they get frustrated and whatever, but personally, I prefer to do that than to not go the speed limit, get pulled over, and get the ticket. And there have been rumors that police are going to start cracking down even harder on speeders and stuff. So whether that's true or not, we'll have to wait and see, but that is what I've heard. So I'm trying to think right now and watch, because I'm pulling up to their school. Okay, we're good. Figured out a place to park. Because I got here a bit later than I usually get here. So I couldn't take my usual parking spot. What did you mean by range state? Oh, I know where I'm looking. Okay, I do have those in. Reason I was looking at that for so long is I was thinking it was the corner up in the corner here. And I was going, what? Did they add one? I better figure it out. But then realized, no, they didn't add one. I just was looking at the wrong way. So... Oh, that's right. No, we are not a free range state. If you hit a cow or a horse here, it's the owner's fault. And I had forgotten about, I knew, but I forgot. So, I know in Idaho, if you hit a cow or a horse, it's your fault. Here in Utah, if you hit a cow or a horse or whatever, it's their fault. The owner's fault. So, and owners really go out of their way to try and make sure they're kept in. There are times, obviously, as with any farming area, that any farmer is going to have problems off and on with a cow getting out, but they do their best to prevent it. At least here in Cache Valley. The one experience I've had with that, we got lucky. We were in a Geo Metro. And so literally what ended up happening was that the cow just got tripped. When the police came, him and the owner both tried to look at all the cows, and they decided they found the cow, and it had a tiny bit of blood on its udder, and the Geo Metro was close to, it was almost declared totaled. That's how bad it was. Watching this kid here, sorry, I had to shut up for a minute because one of these kids leaving school, my kids aren't here yet, but leaving school, seriously keeps pulling forward to turn left when the lane he's trying to turn into is full. It was like, excuse me, I'm trying to go the other way, and you're pulling forward the way you aren't supposed to. Where's your sister?
She didn't go to school today.
No one told me that.
Okay, sorry.
That's kind of frustrating.
Are we streaming?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm going to hand you the phone in just a minute.
I decided I should probably open my locker to see if I actually can, / if I need to use it. And I did it first try, which was weird because I haven't done it in 3 years. Which is, so it's like, in 3 years I still have the way to open a locker memorized. That is very weird.
Well, the first
Considering when I did it, I was pretty sure that I got it wrong.
The first time I went into, I think it was Stephen, into a school with it, it only took me a little bit of stop, think, okay, try this, I think this is the way you do it, and I had it open.
It's still weird for me, especially because I really didn't care about my locker comp. Ever. Even when I did use it.
Oh, you mean you tried your locker com, you didn't have it written down, you just went up and did it?
No, I had it written down today.
Oh, okay.
Because I could have memorized it really quickly, but I didn't care to. Because it's 1:12:47.
And you just told the world that.
I don't care. Because 1, if they want to get into my locker, 1, there's nothing in it. 2, why would you want to get in my locker? And 3, it's a locker. It can be broken in without knowing the combination if you have a hammer. / a good sense of anything ever. Sorry if I broke someone's ears while saying that.
Yeah, but you never know when someone at your school is listening and might start using it, and then you get in trouble for down the road because of something they put in it.
Yeah, maybe. I highly doubt it. Because the people who would be listening to this wouldn't put stuff like that in my locker.
You're like, no one knows. No one would know that you're...
And they don't even know, unless you've told them which school I go to. So yeah, then they probably wouldn't know.
I'm just saying, you're like, none of the ones I'd have to worry about, I think, would be watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only concern would be that some of the problems they've had with drugs there, which is why they do random drug dogs.
Yeah, but if anyone's listening...
Okay, go after purple ones.
Okay. But if anyone's listening, and they are the type of person to do that, it wouldn't matter. Because why would they put it in mine and not their own? Especially because mine's a bottom locker.
That makes a little bit of difference, but at the same time, so they don't get... So if a drug dog does come through, it's not in their locker?
I guess, but I still don't think it would be worth it to put in someone else's, because what happens when the person who owns the locker looks into it and sees, obviously, the stuff in there that isn't theirs. And so they call someone over and they're like, hey, this is my locker, this is not my stuff. Or if they try and keep it, well then, yeah, bust them anyways, because they're trying to keep it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, since you check it so little.
Yeah, considering we're more than halfway through the school year and I just checked it for the first time ever. Yeah.
Not just
But
for
who's
the
gonna
school
know?
year. Did you even use it last year, or do they switch
They changed the lockers every year. Because first year, it was at the very beginning of the row of lockers. This time it's somewhere near the end. So they do change it.
Okay. I wasn't sure, because at your school there would be the possibility of saying, hey, you know what, we're giving you the same locker the whole time you're here.
I thought they would do that, but they didn't.
Because I think they did with Danny. So his was and the same comm. So his was either a fluke or they switched things up.
I think they just changed stuff.
I'm not complaining, because between you and Mindy and Danny, you used your lockers like
Once.
never?
Yeah. Once per person, at most.
I said used, not opened. Used.
Exactly. At most. Because I haven't used it once. I've just looked in it to see if there's any crap.
How many people there even use the lockers?
Quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Because people are weird.
Huh?
Because people are weird.
So the reason I bring that up, and the reason they can actually manage to go without using a locker, well, first of all, I used to, and their older brother used to, with 7 classes would rarely use our lockers. And with books and everything. But their school, yeah, they have books, but they have 3 classes.
All you need to do for each class is have a pencil. That's it.
There are some classes you're supposed to have they check out a book or things too.
Which they give to you. And you can leave in the classroom. Jen says, hello everybody, Sky, Steph, and David.
Hi, Jen.
Hello.
Danny had one class that they asked him to bring the books home and back every day.
Well, I assure you that teacher is not there anymore. Either that or I have not heard about it.
Or they changed things up, no, I get that. So part of it also is one of the teachers says, we don't know what responsibilities they have at home or anything else. So we try and make it so that they can take care of school at school unless they choose not to. Kind of like work is, If you get your work done at work, you don't take your work home.
Jen says you don't take notes in class. Some of us do, but I don't need to.
Some of the classes also, literally like math class and stuff where you kind of need notes, they actually have a binder.
They give you a binder and they're like, here, take notes in this. Which normally is like, okay, whatever. I just do the papers and turn them in because that's good enough notes for me.
But then you keep that there at school. You can keep it there in the classroom. They provide a place for it.
Yeah.
So.
And the classes I have right now, math kind of needs notes. But my second hour is a video production class, and my third hour is a creative writing class. All of which I don't need notes for. I'm assuming you want me to go and get Mindy.
So, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a photographic memory they have, but I will say one thing I've seen and I've experienced is for some reason me and my kids can retain easier. Like, I haven't read any of the Harry Potter books for a number of years. It may be up to 5 to 10 years since I last read one of the books. And yet you guys have seen how much I can tell you about Harry Potter, where it's been that long since I read it. So, but a photographic memory I know is you can look at it and turn the page, and look at it and turn the page, and just basically glancing at it. And you'll remember everything on that page. And it's not quite to that point. While he's in there, I'm going to look up something. Well, I picked up David and found out that Mindy obviously stayed at her uncle's. So they go over in the first thing in the morning for breakfast. And obviously she went sick. But so my thing is, honestly, I found out about it when I picked up David. That's why I'm kind of upset.
I found no cure for this. I should not be singing. I'm sorry. Were the coconut / cinnamon ones good?
I like the coconut more than cinnamon.
I just had the regular one. And now we go home.
Okay, passing this over to Mindy now that we have her. You guys can ask her and she can explain why she stayed home.
I was dying.
What do you mean?
She got stabbed in the face. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. No.
We had to use some regenerative magic on her so, people wouldn't be suspicious. Now that all of you know, we have to erase all of your memories.
Yes.
That, or you can just die, Either one.
So why is Steven still here?
Though I think you guys would prefer to not die, so there's that.
So why were you dying?
I felt like puking all morning.
Mm.
And then I ate, and I got so much worse. And I did puke a few times. Just trying to... Yeah. It wasn't nice.
So why did you go to Jade's at all if...
I thought breakfast would make it better.
Okay.
Because it normally does. Unless it's actually a stomach bug or something.
And then you didn't bother to let me know.
I attempted to text you. My phone wouldn't let me call or text anyone.
And you didn't think of borrowing Steven's?
Nope. I was pretty tired when I was texting you.
Did you go back to sleep?
Mm-hmm.
You are a fool. You're gonna have such a hard time sleeping tonight.
No.
Yes, you will. It's you.
No. You know why I know this? Because yesterday I slept until... Well, I woke up for like an hour or two.
Or 3.
And then I went back to sleep. And I slept until 4. And I was still able to go to sleep at 10. Hello. Goddess is laughing at you, David.
What? Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Never mind. Don't answer that.
I will answer it if I want to.
Picking you up. How often have you used your locker?
I don't even know the locker calm.
What about last year?
No.
The year before?
No.
There's your answer. She's used it not at all the whole time she's been at that school.
Yep.
I've at least opened my locker once this year and once last year. I'm
I
better than
didn't.
she is.
I just knew I wouldn't need it, so I was just like, I'm not even
That's a
gonna
lie.
look
I've
at the
opened it
number.
twice last year.
I'm not even gonna look at the calm.
I opened
'Cause
it
I
for
knew
the
I wouldn't
second
need
time
it.
so I could clean it because we were required to clean the lockers.
Yeah, I also wasn't there last year on that day because I
so someone
decided
else
to
had do it
skip.
for you. And I'm most likely gonna have to open mine again
Why?
to clean it.
Oh. Oh.
What about the year before? You missed that clean out too?
Huh?
Did you miss? I also need purple ones cut.
I
but
can't reach that one.
You
Unless-
can't?
Okay, there we go.
It's different in this one than Pokemon Go.
Yeah, well, it wasn't showing it would let me in. Yes, I'm feeling better now.
So the other, like earlier today,
People have used it. Why isn't it? Okay, there we are.
and it was really weird
So, yeah.
because elementary school, both my 4th and 5th grade
And
teachers
the
were there.
purple ones, purple stream ones.
But my 4th grade teacher was now a 5th grade teacher. My 5th grade teacher was now a 6th grade teacher. Which was extremely weird. And then for my middle school, my second one, I didn't bother to look at the first one because we split it in half. Most of the teachers that I had are still there, which is weird. All except for like 4, I think.
You mean elementary?
No.
Oh, okay.
Middle school teachers.
Which is extremely weird.
Not necessarily. Here in the valley, Cache County doesn't. It's really hard. Wouldn't you? Not really. How do I put this? Cache County comes because there's something else going on. Like with Grandma Jensen, the reason they made her switch was because Grandpa Jensen was becoming a vice principal or whatever there. And so they didn't want them working at the same school. And at that time, there were only 2 middle schools. So they moved her to the other.
I still think it's weird.
Another thing along those lines, if you had looked, if there were any teachers that weren't, you may have been able to find them actually at other schools in Cache County.
Probably. I did notice, because a teacher that I had in 6th grade was at my middle school.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Well, so 6th grade, when you went, was middle school.
Oh, yeah, right.
But now it's elementary school. And so it's, they have fewer teachers teaching 6th grade because it's more like an elementary school than a middle school. So some of them went on to the middle school while others stayed in 6th grade and went to the
I do have to
elementary
say that
school.
I'm glad that I went through 6th grade as how I did it, because it kind of, I liked the changing teachers better than staying with one teacher the entire time and rarely going to other people's classrooms. That was really annoying.
So with 6th grade, what they do is it's kind of an in-between, at least when the one time I went to something like that, where you have your core teacher, but then you go somewhere else for math, somewhere else for English, somewhere else for science. Does that make sense? So like, they kind of, each teacher kind of is in charge of one subject or whatever, and you kind of rotate through the classrooms. But then, so you start the day and end the day in your main class.
Homeroom.
Huh?
Homeroom.
Yeah, homeroom. And then for the other classes, you kind of rotate between. So each teacher takes whatever their major was in, or that they basically there's one each of them has a different focus, so that they're able to kind of give that this more specialized of middle school, of actually knowing kind of what they're doing rather than a little bit of each subject, if that makes sense. But at the same time, it also depends on the number of students in. So here's one difference. You don't have as many students in 6th grade as in elementary school as you do in high school. Or as you do in 6th grade middle school. Because they haven't combined them yet. Combined students from different schools. So you have fewer teachers teaching math, fewer teachers teaching English, etc. You may only have one in the whole school teaching 6th grade English, rather than 2 or 3 or 4. What did you say?
I said that was wonderful.
What? Oh, your cast? the one thing I like, and why I like the fact, I will be honest, I'm glad that you guys had 6th grade in a middle school. And the reason why, and I'll be honest, is because since there's fewer students, it's harder to get into classes that work with you, if that makes sense. So you guys learn pretty quick. And in elementary, or in middle school, we were able to, your counselors picked that up pretty quickly and tried to make sure you were in with teachers who could take advantage of that. Does that make sense? And then when we had problems with a teacher, there was an option of another teacher for that subject. If that had happened the other way around, there wouldn't have been an option. Remember that math teacher they put Mindy with that we had a heck of a time?
Stupid.
Yes, Mr. Stupid.
And then,
Yes, I remember Mr. Stupid.
yeah. And then they tried to put you with, and we threw a tizzy fit. Had it been, because that was 6th grade, so had you been in elementary school, there wouldn't have been the choice. You would have been stuck with that teacher for math.
How many of these do you need?
I think I need 30. Oh, by the way, Mindy, one of the school teachers in our ward said they're looking for small animals for their classroom, like just to come visit for a little bit. And I said, well, and they said puppies count as small animals. And so I said, well, Mindy has a puppy that's not quite a year old, but
She's not
she's
small.
not exactly small.
Maybe Chiba. No, not Chiba. She wouldn't stand that many people.
You
Wait,
think
yeah.
Cloud would?
He's much more willing than Chiba.
I think
Leah would probably be the one I would bring.
Yeah.
Not any of the other animals. Yeah. Mizuki's still a puppy, but she's not small.
She can pull my full weight, like force me to move when I'm trying to hold her back,
Yeah.
which is not good.
Nice sound.
sorry.
That's yours. That is also
Yeah, I
yours. That is yours.
Oh, you were gonna try and grab the recycling.
Yours.
Yeah, then I changed my
Yours. More yours. Okay. All of this is yours. Besides this. This is Ed's.
Okay. We are home, so I'm gonna catch these few things and go from there. How about I have Mindy bring out the puppy while we're still here, and I'll make it and I'll try and catch it. Go bring Mizuki out, and I'll turn on my camera. Oh, Jen, I'll wait so I can show you guys the puppy. So you can answer for yourselves if it's a small pony or not. And yeah, Brett tried to blame it on Mindy because she had been sick a week ago. And it's like, but he had people at his work sick after that. And yet supposedly Mindy brought it home. It's like, yeah, no. Ah, okay. And I agree, that's what it sounds like. That's why I said I'll have to show you. Now, I will state this. We did get it, the idea, the size of dog we were looking for was so that it could be a mobility support dog. That was the focus with the service dog when she got it. Then she got it and it started alerting, which that is one thing. Alerts can never be trained into a service dog. They have to happen naturally. And it's very rare that you'll actually get a dog that, that they will alert once to one person and another to another. That works. Hi, pup! Okay. You can see her compared to Mindy. So, you can see she's past Mindy's knees, almost to Mindy's waist. That works. But yeah, so you can see, and you can see she's pure muscle too. So, definitely a big dog. Totally works as a mobility support, which would have been the that dog is less than a year old. She won't be a year old until March or April. So yeah, she is still growing. That's why we were laughing about it when they said puppy. So I said, well, Mindy has a puppy. She's not exactly small though. Yeah, but she's not a year yet, and according to vets and everything, they're still considered a puppy until they're at least a year, if not 2 or 3, depending on the vet and everything. That's why they say if you're going to train a service, what breed? White German Shepherd. I believe, if I remember right. Just a minute. She's a German Shepherd, right, Mindy? She's a German Shepherd, right? Yeah. White German Shepherd.
So what's the plan?
What do you mean, what's the plan?
Hey, doggy.
Hi, Pop.
Hi, Pop.
Where are you?
Pup keeps trying to jump in the car. She's taking off with Brett. She likes to tie Brett up in the leash and then take off with him.
I need you to go into town to complete the Harry Potter thing.
Well, if you want to go in, we can go in. I'm streaming right now.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
He just ran inside for a minute. Because I never know when she's going to do it, is why I didn't show you that. She does it randomly. He'll be back out in a minute. It sounds like he wants to go. Sounds like he wants to go into town to finish off the event, so. Oh, I was gonna switch, but she behaved this time. That's why I say it's a random thing.
Hey! I'm climbing in here, Mizuki. Or you can get me.
That is one thing that we still need to do before she can go out in public, is get her to behave.
Good luck. Danny call you yet?
No? So Mindy wants to spend part of taxes to. Okay, these are recycling. Since she's got pup inside now. I may have some more just a minute. Yeah.
Kaden!
What?
Put these in recycling really quick. Just put them in the blue bin.
And this too.
Got it? I got it.
You want to
pays for insurance. That's what I want to go in. To complete it, I gotta defeat 10 foes in Wizarding Challenge and place 3 level 1 Darkest Times Ruin Stones. That's all I have to do. So it won't take much to complete.
We did not have a rainstorm. We had a little bit of snow. Okay.
No, not rain. I saw it was snowing out here.
That's what I said. We didn't have a rainstorm. We had snow.
Well, just in case you need it too.
Oops.
Hey, they both remembered their chargers today, Jen.
So Jen, we can meet up at the...
Hey, don't yell.
I just need to go to the bank to get you guys the money for a short.
We can meet up at the fortress. You're probably working, though, aren't you, Jen?
Okay, I'm after purple streamers.
I pulled forward enough that...
Yeah, I might have been able to. I just didn't want to risk it.
What?
To get it to turn on, I need you to turn on my defroster. Then click it, then it'll turn on. Then I can turn it off and it'll stay on. Now it's moisture getting to my...
Could easily be. I didn't have to wait for him. Not keep there all day, though.
I know.
There was
I don't think she was looking at all day.
Yeah.
She was.
Oh, okay.
She said all day.
So I don't know if he's looking at the stream or not.
It'll be at 5. Okay, you go have fun doing that, Jen, because you'll have a lot more fun doing that. Family comes first in my book.
Yeah, pony, but she's almost big enough to be one, and who knows, she may actually end up big enough to be one, because she is still growing.
Yeah.
What?
Is going.
So Steph's looking at moving to Logan.
Should have more opportunities with taxes.
Probably, no promises, but are not guaranteed, but that they probably would be willing to take you on pretty quickly. I forgot what we were doing for a minute. Just thought we were going.
Hey, look, there's a German Shepherd, just like the white one you guys saw, but that one's a normal German Shepherd.
And if you look, you can see Mizuki's not full size yet. She's still got at least a few more inches height to go. She was going to be the upper end of the German Shepherds sizes. Just because of how big her paws were. She's like across the road and slowed down and waited until I was, and then I didn't immediately slam on my gas when I realized, when he indicated that yes, he's gonna wait there. That's why. Does that make sense, Caden?
That's one Sky doesn't have yet, so if we can find a group, we can get her one.
It only has 14 minutes left.
I'm sure she won't complain about having the tornadoes.
Why couldn't I had you earlier?
What?
Again. Look at them.
Dallin bought me something when he has to stop by Maverick, and he bought me something for a quick snack. It was a Lucky Charms bar. I think it was sweet.
I was gonna say, what is he trying to kill you?
No, I don't think he took it into consideration. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but awfully sweet.
Probably because he forgets, because you just handle it so matter-of-factly.
He's got donuts sitting in my van right now, mini donuts. He bought two packages of them.
Does he need a ride home, or?
He said he'd find a way. I said, I will be done long before you finish.
And he said, okay, I'll find
He said,
a
okay,
way.
I'll find a way home.
Okay. I mean, you might say if you absolutely can't.
I'm going to send him a message like that. If you need a ride, I'll come and get you.
Because I don't know that I'd necessarily complain. I need to pop 10, 14.
Message Dallin, Caden.
I can't right now.
What are you doing?
I bet on Candela.
Okay. When you get a chance.
Yeah. You know what?
So I don't know if he's checked recently.
No, I have not. There's your son.
Hello.
Hello.
Alright. How
Hi.
have you been doing?
Good.
Good.
Good. I'm just here in the vehicle with Mom. No one's responded. So, Mom's streaming right now, but we're going to talk too.
They'll understand.
So, how are you doing, Danny?
Pretty good.
Good. Did you find anything
What
out from the
does-
doctors?
No, we had an ultrasound scheduled for Wednesday, then we had to cancel because we were grounded because there was snow on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got it Friday and haven't heard the results yet.
Okay.
Okay. So,
If you haven't heard results yet, I would say it's probably okay.
are you feeling better?
No.
I was gonna say, he said kind of, which told me something's still up. Right, Danny?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the whole reason for the kind of, or is something else going on?
Yeah, just the pain.
Okay. Hopefully they can
figure it out.
Yeah.
It is good that they're keeping you in the same area again.
Yeah.
So is he new to the area too? Like, was it a whitewash or?
No.
Okay, so you're there for at least 12 more weeks. Probably.
Pretty much, yeah.
Unless it ends up a whitewash, but chances are that you'll be there at least 12 more weeks. Which means they should hopefully have time to figure out what's going on. And, you know, where you'll be with the same doctor. That's always a positive thing.
Yeah.
We found something out on Thursday, Danny. You're being upheld by the hand, by Heavenly Father's hands right now because your best friend is home.
Oh, Jordan?
Jordan.
Yeah.
He's been home for
Yeah.
a little while. I've emailed him almost every week.
We didn't know he was home.
Email.
We didn't know
he was home. So that's why I'm saying that.
But yeah, he's been home since before August.
Yeah, it was like June or July that he went home.
So do you know why?
Medical reasons.
That's what I was going to say. I could tell it was medical. I didn't know if it was a mental or medical otherwise.
It was, I can't remember if it was him or someone else, but I think it was him was one of the ones, but he seemed like he kind of injured his back a little bit on his mission. And they were expecting recovery time to be a little bit, and so
They
sent him home.
That makes sense, because I know a lot of people were saying, I hope you're feeling better. So that's why I suspected medical. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it was either that or he had some other thing that he needed to get surgery for or something like that. Yeah, it was some physical thing that happened.
Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, so knowing what you've been through, and that he went out in a lot better shape than you, you know you're meant to be there, right? But at the same time, hopefully they can figure out what's going on, though.
Yeah.
I hope.
We do have, prayers coming your way.
Your uncle is worried about you, so I told you, said a little bit about what's going on to him, and he's a little worried. That would be Brett. So,
Not this one, next one.
Yeah.
he worries about you. He cares about you, so.
Even if you weren't hearing from him, he is keeping up on.
He is keeping up on what's going on.
Yeah, I received a letter a couple of weeks ago, I can't remember when, that had just like a handwritten note from him, along with some other handwritten notes from other people in the war.
Cool.
Yeah, it was sent by Sister Ashton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was hard. Right around Christmas, they said, we need to be able to send them stuff. What's their address? And it's like,
He's being transferred. Chances are he's being transferred.
it was like, well, we can give you the address for now, but it'll change.
Yeah.
Have they
said anything about the mission office on Facebook or anything?
No, that's what I was about. All they've said is that they are working on getting a new one, but they haven't got it yet. Please send everything directly to the missionaries.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like they said that they were going to be moving for a while now, pretty much, and the new mission office would be in the new Edmond State Center, which is being used, only being used. They're even using it for transfers, and yet they still haven't mentioned anything about actually having it moved now. Just stop sending stuff there. Because all medical stuff is supposed to go to the admission office.
Oh boy.
That's supposed to be our, address that we use for all medical stuff.
Uh-huh.
They're still receiving stuff for medical things.
Go figure.
Go figure is right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because they also, the others who used to be in the office, and Dan said that it was going to be a couple of weeks, probably even before the new year, that they would be that they'd be getting in to the new office, mission office, and yet it's been a month and still nothing.
Yeah, well. Right before you called, I asked about 3 minutes before you called, I said, "Have you heard from Danny yet?" And your mom said no, and then I looked, and about 3 minutes later the phone rang with your number on it. So, anyway.
Other than that, everything's going good?
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Good.
Anything we can do to help?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
Just checking. If there's anything we can do, let us know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call your uncle later today and talk to him. He wanted an update after we spoke with you today, so.
Oh, I do have a question. If someone wants to use your stuff to dress up as an Indian for school,
Would you allow that?
What?
Your OA stuff, they've got Sister Sorensen, isn't it Sister Sorensen?
I'm not sure.
I don't know, there's a person in our ward.
Their son needs to dress up as an Indian for school. Can they use some of your OA stuff or no?
Sure. No.
Okay, just wanted to check.
So,
Sister Muir.
oh yeah, it is Sister Muir. That's who it was, is Sister Muir.
There's your answer, Jen.
What?
So, do you remember Goddess Diana? Do you remember Goddess Diana?
From Pokemon Go.
What?
Do you remember Goddess Diana from Pokemon Go?
Kind of halfway recognize the name, but...
She drove that red car that's got an ouchie on the front of it.
Goddess Diana.
Yeah, what?
She says hi.
Okay.
She's one of the ones listening to my stream right now.
So,
She was wondering how you were doing, and then you called.
anyway. That is that.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I think you may not have met him, but you were well known in Pokemon Go long before we really hit it off, Jen. In fact, I'm sure he's met you before.
I'm sure he's met you before because he's been out with me when I've raided with you.
And I can think of at least once before he left on his mission that We were talking about you. What? I know, I don't need it.
It's your high, though.
It's okay.
You need high.
I can get high from other things. Am I not?
Those purple ones aren't counting.
Okay.
Hi, Danny. How are you?
Good.
Anyway,
Actually, let's go straight
So, yes,
and go to our bank now.
I didn't know.
you can talk to Caden. I'll hand the phone back to him.
Home, so.
Talk to Caden.
Hi. I didn't know. I didn't know Jordan was home. It's just I went to Institute on Thursday and saw him in the class.
Yeah, he's been home for a little while.
Oh.
Yeah,
It looks like he emailed me when he went home.
I found out because I looked up his Facebook page.
Yeah, when Caden said, I think Jordan's home.
Lexi.
Oh, yeah, it was Lexi who said that.
I saw Jordan there. I've got Dallin to say that he's going to go to church and with the Institute.
With Caden.
Yeah, he hasn't gone there for a while. So that's always good. How's the weather down there?
Currently it's raining, but
Oh,
We send our storm systems his way.
here it's just sunny.
We were supposed to have a storm, but it pizzled out.
We got a little bit of a storm.
We got a little bit, Dad.
Yeah.
Which is more than, you know what, we get about 50% of the
Danny, I got a question for you. Just, if he can hear me.
time. He can. He
I
said,
have about a case of each shotgun shell. I figure a 3-inch and 3.5-inch mag. Am I going to have to buy some more? Are you going to go out with me when you get home at the end of the year?
you're going to have to buy some more if
Okay.
stuff comes.
Okay, Mom just answered my question, so. But what's your opinion?
don't know.
I think he's saying, are you going to go hunting with him when you get back if you
Like, I
don't
I
extend?
don't know how he executed, how it will be, but yeah, I plan to go out with you.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll make sure we have shells then. Okay? That's what I was asking. So, anyway. So, continue talking, Caden.
Yeah. The weather's pretty well. We think it was. I'm not sure what Sunday was, but we started church late because we switched buildings and the Wellsville Steak started at. They had a
Departed.
state
I
conference that
tried.
went till 12, and we pushed our time back to 12:30.
Yeah, it's not
When we
counting
got
them.
there, it
We've
was
only
kind of
got two.
confusing, is because
I've got several of those purple
there was a
streamers.
whole lot more
Here you
there than what usually there in a
Some of the
YSA
purples
ward. And
are,
we're just
some
sitting here
aren't,
like,
so
huh?
just go after whatever and keep going after him, I guess.
But then Brother Bernard told us, you're in the right place.
Checking deposit slip, please.
So it was fun.
Medium.
We
That's
had
why.
We had
It's
to linger
medium.
longer and
That's what I thought.
had nachos.
You need high.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty great. How was your week?
Medium there too.
Pretty good. We had a baptism
Oh,
Saturday.
that's
Technically it was 3 people, but it
What's
was
today?
2 that we had been
I don't
teaching,
know.
and then 8-year-old baptism.
oh, an 8-year-old decided to get.
Combined in. But yeah. But then it was like father and the daughter also got baptized with the 8-year-old.
Oh,
It was awesome.
That would be awesome.
The confirmation Sunday, and Elder Bond got ordained the father to the Aaronic priest this Sunday after church.
That's awesome.
That is one thing. You might want to talk to your little brother. He still hasn't been ordained a priest.
David hasn't been ordained a priest?
No, and he met with the bishop a few weeks ago too, and it's still. I don't know what he told the bishop, but I don't know.
No.
Talking to a missionary.
Well,
Anyway,
I guess I'll hand the phone back to my dad and
he is trying member missionary work thing, Danny, so it's a start. It's a start. If he can get Dallin to
go.
it'd be.
I had to
gotta
pick
plug
him up.
you in.
And your little brother's also looking at graduating a year early.
Oh, yeah.
David wants to graduate a year early.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he said that last week when I talked to him.
Ah.
Thus far, he's on track to. So yeah, he's been getting 4.0s lately. So, and he's been in bed. He tries getting in bed every day by. Did you text Alan, Caden?
No.
Text him, please. So, anyway, I'm out of things to say, Danny.
Yeah.
So we will talk to you later.
We love you.
We love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. You want to check what people are saying on the stream?
Nothing. The last one to respond was Jen saying, I don't think we've met.
Okay. Oh, I might have been able to go, but someone decided they're turning right, so they're gonna
Block us?
block the view. That is one thing. This experience with Danny is so different than our experience with my older one.
Steven, that you called.
Because we would talk to him Mother's Day and Christmas, and that was
The only
it.
time we were allowed to talk to him was Mother's Day and Christmas.
Otherwise, it was everything was done through emails.
Then this time, I mean, what?
We started
Right after
out,
he started his mission, about 4 months into
no,
it, they
not even 4 months. It
not
was
even
two-
4 months.
two
Yeah,
or
it wasn't
three.
even 4 months.
It was 2 or 3 after he left, because they started
Church
I think,
announced that
February or March. They started.
The missionaries could call home, and he's called home every week since.
I think he missed 1 week. Because they went out to do something or whatever.
Oh, that's right, service if I'm ever or something like that. A big mission service day with a mission conference, its own conference and service. I don't know exactly what.
Oops, I need to catch you. My bad.
But it's been nice to be able to help him figure out his
Health issues.
health issues. And there's been times I'll be at the doctor's or at the PT when he calls, and so we're able to literally let them talk directly to, talk to him while we're right there for our appointment anyway. And that's made a difference too, I think, in him being able to stay out. So anyway, I've been streaming for a while now.
You can probably end this stream.
So
Oh yeah, I did report on
I
Where?
will talk to you guys later.
What do you need? Add some recycling.
How do you?